Ragan Ross, it is such a pleasure to meet you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is with JAG?
Right. Yes. So I'm from Davenport, Iowa. I've been with IJAG, Iowa Jobs for America's Graduates, going on 3 years now. So I teach the education specialist program, 11th and 12th grade. So I've been, there for almost 3 years in East Moline, Illinois. And then as it came with JAG, I was a national trainer, totally new. This year, I got in connect with Carrie Webb, and I told her that I was doing a social justice project, and from there, it's like history. It just happened so fast, and so I'm the lead specialist for the Love Project. So this was something that I helped to create alongside with Jag and Carrie. We were talking about this project, about doing social justice, and I said, this name has to be impactful. And so after talking, I said, what about the Love Project? Lifting our voices for equity. Because when you think of love, you think like, you love your family, you love your friends, and we want our students to love their communities, and we want them to love whatever they're doing. And so this project and the name Love Project is so impactful. So I'm the lead specialist for the Love Project. And I've just been a leading specialist on this, and I've just been, spearheading it in many ways. So. Yeah.
You've told us about how you were inspired to come up with the Love Project. Since you've undertaken it and begin going through these projects, how has the Love Project inspired you, and how do you continue to be inspired by the action you're seeing taken by your students and by IHG?
Right. So how has the Love Project inspired me? Every day it inspires me. But what most where I get my most inspiration and where I get my fire from is from my students. When I see, the light bulb go off, or when I see that, they start to smile because they see themselves in this project. For one student, it's always nice when I have those testimonies when a student comes up to me and says, Miss Ross, like, I never knew about this, and I wish I would have knew earlier. Like, my family, they've experienced this, or we did a lesson on microaggressions, and a student came up to me and said, my sister experienced microaggressions, and we didn't know there was a term for it, but now I understand. When students' perspectives change from, I used to think and now I think, that's amazing for me. One student, we had a very candid conversation, and I said, should we do more projects like this? Have you guys talked about, inequities in other classes, even race and just cultural differences? And said, not as much. They said, but through this project, we're like exposing some things, and we're saying that, hey, there's some things that we can do to do better in our communities or do better in the world. And they said that if we focus on some of these things, that maybe we wouldn't have some of the issues that we have, and maybe people will be kinder. Maybe people will stop and listen to one another. And so that, that touched my heart, when students come up and say that this is impactful, this is amazing. And when students are excited to get on a Zoom call and us problem solve and figure out what we can do with the Love Project. So really it's my students and seeing the growth in them, like them not even, one student told me that she knew what equity was. And she said that she didn't really pay attention to it until starting to do this project. And so now her whole mindset has changed. The fact of everything that she does, she now is thinking about others, and she's now thinking about what can I do to be an ally, and what can I do to make sure that I can be the best person that I can be within my community. And so it's nice, just those testimonies, and that comes from my students. So that is the biggest inspiration for me, is when I see that growth, when I see that change in them.
How has IHG's involvement helped the Love Project?
Yes, IHG's involvement has helped the Love Project by providing 75 microgrants of $500 to anyone that does apply. So with that money, students are able to, buy materials, and they're able to, for, if they want to have a soup kitchen or make meals. I know there was one group in Las Vegas who decided to, put together hygiene bags, and all of that, it takes money and funds. And so that partnership has allowed students to be able to use those funds for their projects, but also IHG has not only partnered, financially, but they have partnered by allowing us to have volunteers and access to local hotels that want to get involved with the projects locally. So those have been the biggest impacts for IHG in their partnership, and we're so appreciative of that. Students are appreciative of that because now they feel like, wow, we can, take our project to the next level.
Is there anything else you would like to share with us about the Love Project?
So as far as the Love Project, this project, I would say if you're not already, on board with it, if you haven't had your students take part in it, again, tune in and see all the amazing things that the students have done. To see their passion and to see how much they have invested in this project, it speaks for itself. And I think that this Love Project came at such a perfect time. In 2020, we've seen a lot and students started to lose hope. But I believe that through this Love Project, they've been able to gain hope again. They've been able to say like, hey, like I have a voice in something and I'm able to give back and to see what we've done to plan for this project, see it come to a end product. And so for this Love Project, if you haven't been involved or if you want to get involved, I encourage you to take note, to ask somebody about the Love Project, talk to your students about it. Again, like for myself, again, I'm always smiling and happy about it because it means so much to me. It's like my baby. But for our students, to see them grow and their perspectives change, that is always going to have the biggest heart in my heart. So again, the Love Project, take note to it. Get involved if you can, donate if you like. And yeah, that's the biggest thing I say concerning the Love Project.